Good afternoon, my dear children. So, today we will start with the properties of states of matter, that is, properties of solid, liquid, and gases. So, this is what the concept of your lesson, that is sorting materials into groups. As you all know that in previous session we have studied about physical state, some of physical state like solid state, liquid state, and gaseous state. Again we have three more physical state like solid, liquid, and gaseous state that will study in today's session. But before that I want to explain you about the properties of solid, liquid, and gases, and how we can differentiate that properties between the solid, liquid, and gases. Okay, so you can see the picture of these properties. First one, here I have given properties like mass, shape, volume, compressibility, fluidity, rigidity, diffusion, space between particles, and interparticle force. These are what some properties, and these properties whether they are going to apply for solid, liquid, or gaseous, or if they are not applying, then also we will discuss. Okay, so here first property is mass. So we have seen that solid have definite shape, mass, right? You can weigh, you can take weigh, or you can measure the weight of solids. That means it has definite mass. Even the liquid is also having definite mass. You can weight the or you can weigh the liquids also. So liquid has also mass. Similarly, gas also having definite mass. So this is what mass is applied for solid, liquid, and gaseous. That means solid, liquid, and gaseous state, all three has having definite mass, right? You can easily weigh them. Next one, shape. Second property is shape. Now solids has definite shape. So it has definite shape. Like for example, you can take your textbook, right? Textbook will come under which state? It will come under solid state. And you know that textbook is having definite shape, right? It may be in rectangle shape, it may be in square shape. So solids have definite shape. And when we talk about liquids acquires the shape of container. Container in a sense, you can take glass, water bottle, jug, bowl, anything, the container, right? So these liquid will acquires the shape of container, but these liquids do not have the particular shape. And when we come about gases is also the same kind like liquids. So gas will also acquires the shape of container, right? Next is volume. So volume, solids have definite volume. You can measure the volume of solids easily. Next one, liquids. Liquids also have definite volume. Even the gaseous, when we talk about gaseous state, it does not have any definite volume. So gaseous state have indefinite volume. Only solids and liquids have definite volume, whereas gases have indefinite volume. Next one, the property we are talking about is compressibility. So compress, you cannot compress the solid materials, right? So for example, here you can see, uh, you can take your textbook only. So when you apply pressure on your textbook, it will not change its shape, right? It will not change its dimension, it will remain as it is even after applying force or the pressure. So compressibility is not possible in case of solids, but in case of liquids almost negligible, okay. But gaseous state, it can be highly compressible. Here, for example, we will take balloon, okay. So when you press balloon is having what there? Gas, right? When we fill gas inside the balloon, we can compress it. When we compress balloon, it may change its dimension, it will change its shape, even the size. Why? Because that balloon is having gas. So the gaseous state, in gaseous state, compressible property may be highly applied. Next one, fluidity. Solids, it is not possible, solids cannot flow. Liquids fluidity, they can flow. Gaseous, obviously, they can also flow. So fluidity property is applicable to only liquids and gases, but not for solids. Next one, rigidity. Rigidity means uh, the arrangement of particles. The more amount of particles are bonded in solids, rigid, okay, it is highly rigid, whereas in liquid it is less rigid. In gases it is not rigid. Next, diffusion. Diffusion, in a sense, in case of solid it is slow, in liquid it is fast, whereas in gases it is very fast. Next one, space between particle. The next property is space between the particles. This example or the image I have shown in yesterday's session, right? Here, the particles are very tightly packed with each other. There is no space at all. The space is present inside them is very little amount of space is present, but not more. Why? Because these particles are very tightly packed with each other, right? In case of solids. But in case of liquids, how the particles are arranged? They are loosely arranged. They are loosely packed, right? Here you can see the space between them. But in case of gases, least closely packed. Here the particles are away from each other. They are far apart from each other. Very loosely packed. They are not bonded at all each other. You can compare here how the particles are arranged with each other. Here it is very tightly packed, most closely packed. In case of liquid, it is less closely packed. Here you can see the particles are away from each other. You can see the space between them. But in case of gases, more space is available between these particles, right? So least closely packed. Next one is interparticle force. I told that the force between these particles, here it is very strong. Because of that very strongest force, these particles are tightly arranged themselves. Next, in case of liquid, how the force is acting? It is slightly weaker as compared to solids. And here in gases, the force is negligible. There is no presence of force or the interparticle force in the gaseous state. So this is what the properties of solid, gases and liquids. Even we have compared that particles with solid, liquid and gases. And the movement of the particle, these are what particles which are closely packed with each other. They cannot change their position, but they can vibrate in a fixed position. And in case of liquid, how the particles are moving? They are in constant but in random motion. They are moving here and there. They can change their position. And in case of gases, The particles are really, they are freely moving in a constant and random motion. Random means they can move here and there. There is no fixed position, there is no fixed way of movement of this particle. They can move here and there. There is no what particular way to move that particles. So this is what everything about properties of solid, liquid and gases and the comparison between their properties. Okay. So anybody is having doubt in these properties? Students? No? Okay. Next we will move to uh, this image where you can see how the particles are arranged. In case of solid, here you can see they are very closely packed. There is a minute, you can see a very tiny space between them. There is a very strongest force. Because of the strong force, they are attracting each other. And liquid, a little bit space is there. Okay, weak force is present inside them. But in case of gas, there is no force of attraction between these particles. They can move here and there. They can change their position. So this is what the arrangement of particle in solid, liquid and gases. Right? So next property or the next physical state. Three physical state we have seen, that is solid, liquid and gas. Next we will study the physical state of material, that is conductivity. What is that? Conductivity. What is mean by conductivity? Here you can see. Metals are generally good conductors of heat and electricity. The materials, what it means? The materials ability to allow heat to flow or travel. In case of, you may write heat also or electricity also. So the materials, which kind of materials? For example, metal, you can take steel. That metals, they can easily allow heat or electricity to pass them. For example, when you heat metal, and when you try to touch that metal, you feel hot. Why? Because heat is flowing inside that metal. So that is why these materials like metal or the steel, they have ability to pass heat or electricity through them. Even uh, these materials are also called as what? Good conductors of heat or good conductors of electricity. What is mean by good conductor? Conductor or the good conductor materials are those which can easily pass heat and electricity through them. Even examples, you can take cooking vessels. Okay, cooking vessels, when your mom preparing any food, she may be using metals like steel, aluminium. Why? Because that cooking vessels are made up of metals, and that metals can easily pass heat through them. So that is why metals are usually used for cooking food. Right? Next is conductivity is quantitative. So, what is the property of conductivity? That conductivity is quantitative. For example, any metal like steel, aluminium, gold, silver, iron, these are some examples of conductors. We can also say them, these materials are good conductors. I'll show them. Yes, here you can see, right? So silver, gold, copper, steel, even sea water. These are what? Good conductors or the conductors. Why they are called conductors, or what is mean by conductors? The conductors are those materials, for example, silver, gold, copper, steel, which will allow heat and electricity to pass through them. Okay. Similarly, here you can see electric wires are made up of metals such as copper, right? You have seen that wires in your home. Inside that wire, the copper wires are in what situated inside that plastic. This outer coating is made up of plastic. Inside that plastic, the metal wires are situated, in a sense copper or aluminium, because they can easily pass electricity through them. So that is why copper and aluminum are also called as a good conductors, right? So when we talk about these examples like rubber, glass, oil, diamond, dry wood, plastic, fibers, these are what? Bad conductors of heat and electricity. Why these are called as bad conductors? Because when you take wood, okay, when you take wood and just supply electricity through it, will it pass? No, electricity will not pass through it. How you can confirm? Just attach wire to this and start switch on the button and touch this wood. You cannot feel any shock, right? Why? Because electricity is not flowing inside the wood. So that is why these all materials are called bad conductors of heat as well as bad conductors of electricity. Even one more word we can say, insulators. So insulators are those materials which cannot allow heat and electricity to pass them. One more example, rubber, right? So when you pass heat through this rubber will not give you the sense of heat, because that heat is not passing through this. Like the copper wire or steel, when you passing heat here and when you try to touch this steel, you feel hot, but here in case of rubber it is not possible. So that is why these, the materials which I have shown down, they are called insulators or the bad conductors of heat as well as the electricity. And some of you all have seen that handles of these cooking vessels and the handles of this electrical appliances or the electric materials. These handles, here you can see the handles, here also the black color, they, the handles, they are made up of what? Plastic or the fibers. Why? Because when you hold these vessels, you cannot feel any hot, because you are holding these plastics and the plastic will not allow heat to pass through them. But when you touch this middle part, obviously you'll feel hot because the heat is passing here. But not in case of these handles, because these handles are made up of what? Plastic. But this vessel middle portion is made up of metal. So that is why the handles of cooking vessels are made up of wood or plastic. This allows us to hold hot vessels without burning our hands. Similarly, switches, switchboard, and the bodies of these electric equipments, they are made up of what? Plastic, in order to prevent us from getting electric shock. So in this way we can classify the materials. The bluish part or the greenish part and this black color which you are seeing, they are made up of what? Insulator. Insulator, in a sense, it will not what? Allows electricity, but these metals, the front part, the metal, this front part will, obviously it will allow electricity. So in order to prevent to get electric shock, these handles are made with the plastic or the wood. Understood about conductivity property, students? Anybody is having doubts? Okay, very good. So next physical state is malleability. What is the next physical state? That is malleability. Okay, malleability. So what is this malleability? We can say metals are malleable. What is this malleable? I'll show you the picture of malleable. Can you see that person is hammering the iron? This is what? Iron rod. So after hammering, that iron rod became flat, right? Here this is what the iron rod, and this person is hammering that iron rod, and after hammering it became very flat. So this is nothing but the state of malleability. So these metals are beaten to make a thin sheets with a hammer. I'll show you the picture. Here you can see. Yes, this is what the aluminium metal, after hammering, it is made in the form of thin sheets. These thin aluminium sheets are using, you all are using, right? To wrap your chapatis, rotis, right? Or even the silver thin sheets. So metals are malleable. Malleable or malleability. What it means? Metals ability to be shaped or formed as by hammering or the pressure can be beaten into thin sheets. The metals are converted into thin sheets with the help of hammering, and then we can say that these metals can be coming under the malleable property or the malleable state. Understood what is meant by malleable state? Simply here one more picture I'll show you. Okay, so this is what? Metal. Here I have taken metal. This metal I'll apply what? Strong force or the strong pressure with the help of hammer. After hammering this metal, I'll be getting the thin sheet of gold. So this raw metal I have converted into thin metal sheet or thin gold sheet only after hammering that metal. So this is what the malleability state of metal. Metals hammered into thin sheet. Gold is most malleable metal. You have seen that the ornaments are made. How it is made? After hammering or applying force to these kinds of gold metal. This is raw gold metal. So after taking this gold raw metal, these are hammered in order to make your ornaments or the thin sheets, right? So here the property of substance that describes its ability to bend or hammered into thin sheets without breaking. We are not breaking that metal. Instead, we are hammering them to convert in the form of thin sheets. Like it will look like a paper, thin paper, right? So here one more example is aluminium. Aluminium is also very malleable and is why used to make foil or wrap our food. Sometimes your mom may be wrapping your chapatis, dosas or rotis in this aluminium sheet. So other substances like glass are not malleable, because when you hammer glass or when you hammer stone or when you hammer wood, it will break. We cannot convert them into sheets, thin sheets. So that is why glass like a metals, or sorry, glass like a materials, they cannot be converted into thin sheets. So that is why they are not a malleable. It would break instead of changing the shape. So when you hammer the glass, it will break instead of changing its shape. Wood is also not malleable, while copper is a malleable. So first image is of aluminium thin foil or the thin sheet, and second one is copper thin sheet, third one is gold thin sheet. We can make metals into thin sheets but not glass, wood, or any stone. So this is what the difference between malleable and immalleable uh, state of materials. Yes, students, anybody is having doubt in this? No? You all understood what is meant by malleability state of materials? Simple. Simple. Just you can see the picture of this person. He has taken this rod. He has hammered in order to convert it into flat rod. Here he has converted into that iron rod into flat rod, right? He has hammered that so that it is changed its shape. It formed in the thin sheet. You can see here even the aluminium metal is converted into thin sheet, how it is rolled in order to make the bundle of aluminium sheet, right? So metals are hammered into thin sheet, that is nothing but the malleability state of material. Last physical state is ductile. So what is your last physical state? Ductile. Simple. In malleability, what we are doing? We are converting this metal, raw metal, into sheets. But in ductile, we are converting that metals into wire. That is the difference between malleability and ductility. So metals are ductile. Why? Because they can be drawn into thin wires. So copper wire, they are made up of copper metal. So the property which allows metal to drawn to be wires is called ductile. So ductile means what? What is that meaning of word? Ductile is nothing but they can be drawn out into a wire. This also due to the ability of atoms to roll over each other. Here you can see how atoms are arranged in wires. Next one, here you can see one more image of ductile. So most metals are ductile, which means they can be made into a thin wires. So raw metals, the metal which can be easily converted into or which can be easily drawn into wires. The metals which we are converting into wires. So that state we call it as a ductile state. Some more examples like gold, silver, some of you all wearing chains in your neck, even in hands, legs also, right? So they are made like a thin wires, gold and silvers. So these are what some best examples of ductile metals. Even the copper is also the best example for ductile metals. Tungsten, tungsten where it is used? It is used in bulb, right? So bulb is having tungsten, but in which form? It is also having a thin wire like a shape inside that. So tungsten metal is used to make a wires of filaments of electric bulbs. So this is what the state of ductility. Some examples of metals which will come under ductility are silver, gold, copper, tungsten, iron, right? So the metals which can be easily drawn into wires, which can be easily converted into wires. So that is what the ductility state. Understood about ductile or malleability, conductivity state of materials? Anybody is having doubt in this? Students? No doubt? Okay.